Hello, everybody, and welcome to the showcase of the evolution of my custom police car and ramp truck. This video is mainly going to be around the police car, but I'll also be showing the ramp truck evolution. Anyway, this is just going to be showing every single generation of police car that I have made. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight to it. So, this is the first gen. It is, very bad. This was like, I made this like as soon as police cars got removed from creative. Like, cause my map was really using them at the time. So, I decided to use primitive shapes, the ones that aren't customizable, because we didn't have those at the time. So yeah, I just used those, and I mean, for the time, I thought it was acceptable, but now that I look at it, it looks terrible, as you can see. But yeah, this is the first generation. Second generation, oh yeah, also this was the government car I used for this. Second generation, I changed the car, and my friend actually made me this. Decent light bar, definitely better than that one. I don't think I ever actually used this generation of police car, but it is the second generation. So basically this is just an unreleased version, I guess you could call it. This version, you should all know very well. But yeah, it only has a light bar on it. There's no push bar, no spoiler, no antenna. So it's definitely a step up from this one, I have to say. Then this one is definitely a big step up as well. Light bar looks a bit better. It's just a little chunky, if you could see. No spoiler, no antenna. This time I added a push bar. As you can see, it's not very good looking, but yeah, no, I tried. So this is the third generation. Fourth generation was the Gotham City one. Personally, I think this was pretty good looking. It's like a classic police car with the old style, like, sirens on the top. It was pretty cool. Fifth generation, I added a spoiler and improved the light bar, and pushed the push bar in a little bit, except it did not look very good, as you can see. Like, it's almost like, it's basically inside the car at this point, so it's basically there for show. It doesn't really do anything. Also added a spotlight on the side using a frying pan, if anyone was wondering what it was. Updated the light bar using a gas can and books for the blue, and the gas can was for the red. Then used a primitive shape for the middle area. And then added a spoiler to the back to add some touches to it. So this was the fifth generation. Sixth generation was the car that was hidden in the Christmas gift that I shown in the Christmas special video. Added the push bar to it. It still hasn't changed since the third generation. Added the spotlight to it, added the light bar, and then added the spoiler. Then I realized the spoiler was like way too big, personally. So this was the 6th gen, and then leading to the 7th gen, I changed the push bar a little bit to make it look less weird. Didn't really change the spotlight. Police bar I didn't change much of. And then I shrank the size of the spoiler because it was like absurd of how big it was. So I shrunk it a little bit, as you can see. This is the 7th generation. And now, probably, this is going to be my last generation, is this one. The 8th gen. And probably how I consider to be the final generation, who knows. Reason being, this is the potentially the final version is because I don't think I can improve anymore after this. All I could do after this is basically add a spoiler, which it already kind of has. Basically, this is like this is like an accurate version of the Chapter 2 police car. As you can see, the push bar has improved a lot. Like, it's very obvious that it changed a lot. And it's definitely a lot better looking than the past. Than the past, like, 3 generations. And I put the spotlight in the accurate spot where it was on the actual Chapter 2 police car. Made the Chapter 2 light bar. I think that turned out pretty well. Of course, added the antenna on the back like it was on the Chapter 2 police car. Personally, I think this is definitely the biggest step up out of all of them. It went from this. You can see how things change over time. It went from this to this. Crazy how things change. Yeah, that is the evolution of my custom police car. And now the evolution of my infamous ramp truck. So, to start off, this is the first generation. Definitely not very good. I was an inexperienced creator at the time. I made this in 2019. I was a very inexperienced creator. As you can see, it looks kind of bad. But hey, it was tolerable for me, so I used it. Next generation, the rocket-powered one. I began to learn more about creative, and then I changed the ramp to make it look less sloppy looking. As you can see, it's definitely a lot better than this hunk of crap. I think I did pretty well with, like, a rocket on the back. This would have been like a bumper. And yeah, this is, for my storyline, this is Jules' ramp truck. That she, brought back from the dead, because it did disappear into a rift. The third generation, the Gotham City themed one. This is the, I'm pretty sure this is the Wayne Enterprises truck. I don't know why it still exists, though. Like, I feel like this should be gone, like it shouldn't be here. For a texture for it, at least. Yeah, not much of a step up from the last one. I basically just copied over the ramp from the second generation. Nothing special. And the Primal Season one. I changed the color of it to green, and I added a skull to it to reference the Primal Season. And as you can see, I lowered the ramp a little bit. Now, logically speaking, it would not work. This ramp would have not worked if this was real life. So I changed that up after that because I realized how that would probably shear off the hood of this truck if some car were to drive over it. And yeah, that was very unrealistic. Now the Season 7 one, the futuristic truck. This is the 5th gen. As you can see, I learned from my mistake of that one, and I raised the ramp up again. This time I added a turret to the back for the gnome storyline. Personally, it looks pretty good. Powered by fuel, as you can see. There's a pipe leading to the tank over here, which powers the automated turret. Personally, it looks pretty cool looking. Now, the 6th generation, the 7 themed one. This was, I'm pretty sure, the release of Chapter 3 at the time for Battle Royale. So I decided to make a 7 themed ramp truck for Season 9, I think, of my story map, Rift of Hills. And I kept the raised ramp because, you know, it worked out. Personally, it looked pretty good as well. And now that I realize it, if a car were to jump off of this, it would probably most likely hit that. Oh crap, I have damage on. Anyway, it would most likely take that right off the top of the truck and then probably hit the antenna. So yeah, very unrealistic. This is also somewhat unrealistic too. This is the Season X mixed ramp truck. The ramp was pretty creative. It was I used these parts from the mech and used this as supports for the ramp. Added the Primal Season skull, put a turret on the top, although that would probably not work, a car would take that off. And a reference to the second generation, I put a rocket on the back. Gotta admit, this was one of the coolest ones I made. And now, this one, the newest generation, the 8th gen. This I made recently. I'm currently not using this in my story map right now, but I will soon. So the 8th generation was a big step up from the first one. This is basically, I'm trying to make it more realistic looking. So I added these supports to the front. If anyone was wondering, I'm pretty sure this piece is from, if I'm not mistaken, this piece is from the Condo Canyon Gallery. Just let me look real quick, just so I can make sure. Okay, maybe not. I forget where I got this prop from. Anyway, I added support beams to the front of it to, you know, make it realistic looking. I added the support bumper to it as well. And I also changed the ramp from the sign to a bathroom sign. Turns out it works pretty well as a ramp. Looks quite clean. Personally, I think it was a good change. And I added supports to the back because I did some research. Looked up an episode of Mythbusters where they actually made a wedge truck and had these types of supports on it. And I thought it'd be cool to include those on a ramp truck of mine, so here I am. And of course I made sure the driver's sight line was visible, you know, give realistic vibes to it. And yeah, this was the 8th generation, the 8th addition to the ramp trucks. So yeah, this was the evolution of my police car and the ramp truck. So I shall see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching this nice little video I made showing off the police cars that I have made over the years and how it has gone from something very crappy looking to something amazing looking. Same goes with the ramp truck. It went from this shit to this. Anyway, I don't mind that. I shall see you all in the next one. Adios.